Hello, everyone, and I am excited as always because every time we come here, to me, it's like playtime. Let's
Mhm.
go out there and talk to a new friend or talk. Lainey and we connected back, I would say a few months ago, and I've been loving her contact and her content, and I just love to empower women to bring that essence of love, the seduction, the art of creation, the beauty of you, like the shameless self. And one of the most beautiful things that I share in the Love Mastery podcast, and not only to have this amazing space to bring amazing people, but it's to be ourselves. It's to be so freaking honest with yourself, to just explore more and go deeper into a deeper love that you have. And I am so amazingly honored to be here because today we are going to talk about trust yourself like fuck, the art of love. Because,
Mm.
my dear friend, the art of love, it's the pleasure of wealth, it's the pleasure of life, your existence, your surrounding, and it makes you feel so fucking pleasurable that it makes you feel fully alive. And that is the beauty and the enlightenment that you have in your life. So today we're gonna have a raw conversation with this beautiful Lanie Smith, and
Mm.
she's an author, she's a mentor, she's a retired eco artist therapist, and yeah, and also a former consultant for spiritual entrepreneurs, if I'm not mistaken. So we're gonna get really juicy in all these amazing things because when we become formal, we become something else. It's more, it's bigger, it's better, it's bolder, it's unapologetic. So thank
Mm.
you for being here. And
Thank
I
you.
was I was browsing through your pictures and I said, "Oh my gosh, you know what? I love them. I love the sensuality. I love the spiciness, the sweet, the soft, but the fire. And I'm all about that. I'm like, I'm love and fire. I cannot be loving only in peace and love because it will drain me. And
Yep. Yeah, it will.
yeah,
Good girl
right. And
syndrome.
so I practice that every day. And I remember my starting stages, I couldn't concentrate on having that. And I'm so honored to have you here. So
Oh,
tell
thank
us,
you.
behind those amazing pictures, who is Lane Smith?
Yeah, that is such a big question, right? Like we come onto this earth to experience so many different amazing things. And so that woman has just changed and changed and changed over the years, sampling this, tasting that, giving full permission to be this version and then morph into that version. And so my current essence feels kind of like an appreciation of the ability to dance in and out of all these different roles that you listed, from retired therapist to artist to author to being a consultant and supervisor for former therapists and entrepreneurs. And currently, I'm really, really loving just housing all of that. It's like there's no, those are just titles and roles, but in my own experience, it's like just being able to embody and dance between those hats as needed and bringing those just extraordinary experiences to other women so that they can experience more of themselves and permission to evolve and dance between different just experiences of who we are as divine, our true self is divine, not just the personality. Because if it were just up to my personality, I would have done none of those things. I would have really been limited to, no, I'm this way or I'm that way, which is very limiting. And so I'm always, the woman pushing the envelope of, wait, but am I really? Is that really who I want to be now? Just because I was doing that for 10 years, or just because I was doing this for 10 years, or just because I enjoyed that for 5 years. Like, I want to experience the full range of womanhood. And so that's really where I'm coming from these days.
I love that. And yes, it's wholeness. It's having that wholeness and oneness and the balance also, not only because a lot of women, we talk about the feminine energetics, but in reality, there's also an action. And so it's so important to have that balance between the energies, and it's beautiful because it makes you extremely happier.
Yeah.
And I went through that phase too where I felt actually, I just felt abandoned because then I will overwork myself, and then next thing you know, I will be really tired. And I remembered just like working 80 hours a week, and I'm like, this is not it. Like I'm
No.
happy because I'm successful, but this is not me. I don't feel happy. And that was the last breakdown for me. I'm like, I'm done. I'm just gonna go do
Yeah.
it. And that's
Yeah.
beautiful. I'm celebrating you so much. And
Mhm.
we talk about the sensuality. We talk about the pleasure, the
Mhm.
creative arrows. And a lot of successful women know how to produce, like we just mentioned, right? They know
Mhm.
how to achieve. They're so intelligent. They have amazing business ideas that they're creating every single day, but they don't necessarily what I've seen in different tables in different rooms is that a lot are willing and openly to receive.
Mhm.
And that's one of the biggest pleasures that we have is to receive.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's been an edge for me too, like where we come from does influence our capacity. I think I've gone through phases where it was so fucking natural that I didn't even know it was like it was a gift, It's like a fish in water. I was just being paid to be who I am, and me thinking this is just how life works. And then you talk about going into the work field and the corporate and working 80 hours a week. And so I didn't last long as a creative, as an artist. I didn't really fit a lot of the roles. And so that is a part of why I have so much experience in different realms, is because I would always I would one, I was smart too, so I would kind of master it to a degree, and then I would be bored. Kids who are given the opportunity to, um, what's it called? It's like student-led learning, like nature schools and that kind of thing. They will just dive like wholly into something. For example, a kid that loves a fire truck. They're just going to learn everything there is about fire trucks, and that will become their whole world. And then one day they'll just be like, okay, I want to be a tiger, and they're just
Yeah.
gonna go over here and like fuck firefighting. I'm a tiger now, And so that's me in a nutshell. I was just like, I'm not going to sit behind this desk anymore. I'm sorry. I love it, but also I'm going to be paid to be me, and I want to go over here. So there was it, like you said, trust yourself like fuck. There's an element of that. There's an element of, and honestly, it comes from, to a certain degree, and I talk a lot about this with clients, it's like being able to turn that pain into pleasure. If, and I talk for anybody who's ever heard me speak before, clients included, I'm always talking about how lobsters grow. So if you don't know how lobsters grow, Google how lobsters grow, because it is irritating. So to the dark feminine, it's like nails on a chalkboard in my body when I've outgrown something. I
Yeah, it's
can't
true.
stand it. I'm just
You're
like,
done. We get
we're done
bored.
here. Like this sweater goes in this pile and this sweater, and that's how I kind of would treat things, there's a certain impermanence to it. And so I just found that I wanted to experience more, and you can feel that in your body when you're ready for more. And for me, I talk about turning pain into pleasure. I could feel that irritation. If I don't honor that irritation, that will become anxiety and depression. I would
Yeah,
really
so it's
feel,
we have to continue
yeah.
evolving. It's beautiful. I love it. I feel it. I feel the difference. And then all of a sudden when I wake up out of that it no longer exists, that it's the new norm for me. It's so beautiful. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. So yes, where it's not weird. It's not weird to just I actually, in one of the networking events that I went today this morning, I mentioned that never be afraid to take a break and pivot. Let's move
Mm,
on. It's
yeah,
time. Yeah.
absolutely. Got it.
And that is so important. When who did you have to become the version of you that was actually already when you felt, oh my gosh, I feel successful. There's a pivot when
Hmm.
you started in your journey, when we have done so many things and so many breakthroughs, right? But when was that peak that you felt, oh my God, like I'm so freaking amazing successful?
Oh, wow. That is a slippery question. I see it, I tend to have this like dual vision. So I'll kind of see it from at least two, if not more, angles. And so there's different paradigms. And I
Yes.
do believe as a feminine being, I'm kind of dancing through different levels of consciousness at any given time. And so I found, and it's different for everyone, but I really have to allow myself to feel the times when I don't feel successful, in an external sense. And there's this space in me that when I'm willing, it's kind of a humility. It's like I'm humbled,
Yeah.
it's like God's pulling me to my knees as a reminder, like your your smaller self loves control. So of course this role is going to feel successful. This role is going to feel successful. And as soon as I feel like, oh, okay, I know what the fuck I'm doing. Like if I start to get like cocky about it, my being, and it's just this game. I think we all have little games that we play, like our own kinks in a sense. We all have come to this earth for our own game, our own kink, and different lessons, and to play in the way we want to play. And for whatever reason, I have this playground with myself that kind of pulls me down into, yes, I've created incredible success in my life. I've had incredible experiences in my life, like just lifetimes within lifetimes and stories within stories. And that how lobsters grow example that I was sharing, it's like that little wrestle with myself, that tussling with myself also is kind of part of my creative kink. If you've ever seen Where'd You Go, Bernadette? There's a movie.
No, I
Oh
have
God.
not.
It's so good. Recommend it.
Oh, really?
Where'd You Go,
Okay.
Bernadette?
So,
Yeah.
um,
So I call it the
okay.
Bernadette syndrome. It's like as soon as I feel like I've made it, like I'm just this all successful, then I will lose a little bit of my creative edge. Now, this doesn't mean that I don't honor all the chapters of my life and the
Oh,
successes that I've
yes,
had.
definitely.
So, but there hasn't been like, I guess what I'm trying to say is there hasn't been like this peak mountain that was like, oh, this is forever. Like, this is who I am now. Like, I really am a deeply feminine essence that's kind of, changing and morphing and dancing. And the feminine's very formless. When you think about the feminine, it's kind of like she's there and then she's not. And my main
Yeah,
reason
yeah.
says I'm a harbinger of change. So, you know, he can remind me that I've had all this success, but he also gets that holding on to that identity would actually prevent me at times. And this may not work for everybody. This is why I'm such a huge proponent of bespoke support. It's like when we're individuated, when we have kind of found our own little kinks, then now we have a playground forever. It's like to just keep playing in that. And so for some people, I think it would work great to say, like, okay, this is the identity. I am the successful entrepreneur is a great one to embody the identity of a successful entrepreneur. That was me, right? Like I was that person at one time. I hit seven figures. I had this business and that business and multiple. And then I was like, I want to hang out in the forest for a while. I want to be
Yeah.
I want to be a little fairy in the forest. So then I took off that successful entrepreneur identity. It's like a sweater to me. I'm going to put it back on when I want to wear it, but it's like this freedom to just be who I want to be when I want to be it.
I totally get it, because for the past few months, I've been single for 1 year and a half. And then all of a sudden, you know what? I think I'm ready to, even though like I have an amazing relationship with my ex-boyfriend actually,
Mm.
but we've been off for a year and a half. We still go out whenever for the weekends and everything. It's such an amazing being an adult that could
Yeah.
actually have emotional intelligence and leave things and still have a great relationship without
Sure.
being cats and dogs.
Yeah.
So, so and the other day I was telling him, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna start practicing to be a wife. I am ready to be a wife.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I actually told him that. I opened up and I told him that. And that is beautiful. That's why I tell you, everyone in my world that comes into my world, there's nothing better for the ones listening live or in our recording. There is nothing better in this world to state your truth. This is
Yeah.
how you feel. This is who I am. And exactly like that, it just and he looked at me, he's like, "Oh, nice." He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna start that this is like a year this is months ago, of course, but I'm like, I'm gonna start cooking Monday. I stopped cooking for years. I'm
Mm.
gonna start cooking Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday, I'm gonna cook if I want to. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm not cooking. So I
Mm.
started creating different habits, and now I flow with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
It's
important too. Like in different seasons, there have been
Yeah.
times where I had a personal chef because I wanted to be in my business. I wanted to be creating. I didn't want to be thinking about that, house cleaner, cook, whatever. I just, I think as women, we get to have different
Yeah.
experiences and we can have seasons and cycles. And when we don't feel locked into those, it actually feels really juicy to live in a seasonal cyclical way, because if we like trap ourselves into, well, I'm the type of person who, then you might not have picked up on that desire of like, I'm ready to be a wife now. But if you're like wearing the armor of, I would never do that. Like, we don't know what we would ever do. That's the joy of
No.
discovering.
No, because I mean I remember at 21 I went through a divorce, 20 in my 20s, 20, and I didn't get married or had a relationship for 10 years, so I didn't have that. And then I had a relationship and it just ended and it wasn't happy. Then I had this amazing relationship, but there was a point that I wanted more, and he could only
Mm.
meet me there. There wasn't because of love; it was just because we have
Yeah,
different roads.
totally.
And this the beauty of having adult conversations and emotional intelligence is to be able to flow through that without abandoning yourself, abandoning the happiness that you have, and also respecting the other party
Mm. Yes.
because they don't have to agree, but you also have to put boundaries and standards of the people around you because there's going to be changes.
Yeah, and you don't even have to work as hard as some, there's many paradigms that make it feel very heavy to set boundaries, and it just gets very protective. When we're deeply centered in ourself, our natural expression, and of course, there's a lot of conditioning around this, so it takes sometimes learning new skills in communication and emotional mastery and all of that. But when we're just deeply centered in ourselves to express that what we feel, what we desire, what we want, what we need, that person has the opportunity to say, like, that's not me. Like
Yeah.
that's not where I'm at. That's not going to work for me. And to your relationship story, I too was engaged and to another therapist. We even did couples workshops together. We had a
Oh,
beautiful collaborative lifestyle in both personal and professional. And then at a certain point, we just wanted different things.
Yeah, it
Just
happens.
wanted different things, and I respected that, and we had a conscious uncoupling, and we were beautiful and supportive to each other in that unraveling. And when I met my partner now after him, he's been a beautiful kind of teacher in my life who would often say, like, I don't believe the end of a relationship is a failure or a bad relationship.
Correct.
And
Hmm.
so while I think that's becoming more and more common, I know I'll speak for myself. I'm from an era where, divorce, for example, was had a very heavy stigma. And so you
Yes.
have this broken family and nobody wants that. And so there was just kind of this can't think of the word, but like connotation that came along with the end of relationships, that like this, like somehow this is a bad thing. And I
Yeah.
remember when
Hmm.
people would start giving me sympathy, and hearing about my loss, how important it was for me as part of my own bold truth at that time to say, well, I appreciate your sympathy and this is a celebration, because my world blew up when I stepped out of that, like doors, and doors had been opening, like you had heard all the different roles and things I had filled at
Uh-huh.
that point, but I was shifting out of the therapy model into the coaching model and from in person to online, and like all of a sudden I stepped into a new relationship and a tantra lifestyle, and just like things just really lined up because I was willing to, release. And sometimes when I say willing, sometimes these things happen whether we're willing or not, like life will
Oh
just
yeah. Yeah. You just
destroy
don't know
something
where,
that's not
like, where
working.
did this come from? Like, boom,
Yeah.
like, where did this come from? I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting you.
Right, right. Whether you're ready or not, it was happening. Yeah.
Oh
But
my
yeah, I think in
gosh.
that way, I don't tend to buy into a lot of the traditional stories about endings and relationships and death and those kinds of things. I don't really see them through good and bad. I really do
Yeah.
feel like we're just living cycles and seasons. And so everything has its life cycle.
A lot of people, yeah, and a lot of people do see it as bad. And I mean, I grew up in that era. I don't think like that anymore, of course. And I am a living example, and I live by example that it's not bad. And I live by example that it's okay to have relationships as long as there's boundaries and standards and respect.
Mm.
There shouldn't be a problem. Why not? I mean, there's other things maybe like it could be more like deeper, like cheating, but then if that's
Mm.
the case, you already know that what's coming.
Mhm. Something was
Yeah,
already off.
something was already telling you that that was off, so you already seen it coming. So, and if you have done really deep work, then by that time you already know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it was coming. So
And
it
you also
shouldn't be
know
now.
that it's a gift if something is ending, that cliche of one door closes, another one opens. It's like you had to have that deeper awareness that every ending is a beginning. When you're living in a season and cycle, there needs to be that fluidity, right? And to me, as a retired therapist, that's like ultimate sign of mental health is our own flexibility, our own willingness to let ourselves be moved by life instead of trying to like control and force something.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, the controlling stage. Oh no, I would never. No, like things fall, the sky fell, and the tree is down. I'm like, oh wow, okay. It's like watching.
Okay, we better plant a bush.
I'm like, yeah, like okay, you want to go to Home Depot or like what?
Yeah. Yes, for
Like
sure.
what? Like the
To a
other
fault,
day.
actually. I'm to a fault because I will sometimes like love the ending so much because I like the blank canvas energy that it's like
Oh
I can move a lot. I've moved many times in my lifetime because I loved that feeling of just donating everything. I've done it so
my
many times.
gosh, yes. I donated a 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom home.
Wow, that's
And
amazing.
and I have lost 200 pounds. So all
That's
that
amazing.
clothing was there was a point in my life from 2017 all the way down to like 2022
Mm.
that I was thrifting because my weight loss was so rapid that
Yeah.
I
You
had to
have to
just, I
zone
wasn't
it
gonna
in.
waste time. It
Yeah.
wasn't worth it. So all the clothing that I was falling off, I will return back to the thrift shop and get more.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's a beautiful. Yeah, I love it. It's like mine's a little different, but I like to have all of my things in a different closet so that there's this fun discovery. So every season I have a small selection in my closet in my bedroom. And then because I'll completely forget about the stuff that's upstairs. And then when the season changes, it's like, and I live in Oregon, so we don't have that many seasons. Like I kind of always need my sweaters handy, but I'll
okay.
still put all that up there so that I can switch it and it feels like I just went shopping. Because I do like to shop, but not near as much as I want to circulate.
Oh, that makes sense. You know, that's funny. I did put for the winter time like a bunch of sweaters in like bags, but it's not like that. Like I wish I had a different closet. It's totally a different idea. But anyway, I mean, who knows? I want a house with
Shopping
a
aside.
I want a house where I could sit down and bring guests to my studio because I had a studio and it was beautiful when I would bring and sit down on the floor. I love sitting down on
Mm,
the
yeah,
floor and I
yeah.
invite people in, so it's fun. So let's talk about what did intimate love expose about you that business therapy, personal development, and achievement never could? Like, you know, that deeper love,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
a deeper maybe awakening, maybe Kundalini, maybe something. There has to be something there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned Kundalini because I wasn't really sure which paradigm you were referring to. And then when you said that word, it just like instantly sent me to 2019. And that was the year that I was talking about where I had shifted away from that relationship. It was opening so many doors for collaboration, new partnership, new expression, new first book. Like just so many things were unfolding in that one year. And it really did come from there was a Kundalini awakening. I had made a decision the year before, even while with my ex, that I wanted to embody more of my feminine nature. It's so funny because like looking back, that was a very innocent intention where I didn't even know what it meant. You know what I mean? It was like cute because I was already leading a powerful team of therapists and I already running a multi six-figure business and company contracts and consulting contracts and all this stuff. But there, I just knew something inside of me just knew like there's a deeper level of power that I want to touch. Like it doesn't even matter how much power I'm already touching. Like I want to touch more. And so just that intention alone opened up. Like I went to some workshops and started, really making deeper contact with my own body before body paint and art and eco nature and all these things were they're embodiment tools for sure, but there was a deeper level of internal, like the internal exploration and deeper level of consciousness. So on that embodiment journey, it's like I never know when it's kind of starting and ending because it's ongoing. And so
It's
even
yeah, that once you are like really active, it never fades. I think it
yeah, it doesn't
continues to
end.
evolve. I think we open more capacity to receive more of the
Yeah, and
pleasure.
it is
To me,
that.
it's pleasurable. It's
Sure, yeah, and it's that
creative.
spiral that I was talking about. So it's like in a sense there was very much a feminine dance going on as an artist. I'm putting all the emotion and the raw textural, sensorial into both painting, sculpture, dance, improv. Like I was doing all that. So that's why I'm like, embodiment journey is a big, that's a big term. But nonetheless, I was, it was 2019 and I already had all of this behind me that felt amazing, but still wanting to touch more and more power, setting that intention for deeper feminine sensuality and sexuality. And so that intention alone just rearranged my entire world. And so there was this Kundalini awakening that happened that year, and it was twofold. It was I had had interesting relationships. I was kind of like a what do you call it? Like a rom-com junkie. Like I love to love. So even as a young person, I was like really obsessed with love and relationships and all of that. And so by the time I got to this Kundalini awakening, there was this deep recognition that I've had a lot of love in my life, but I'm not going to have the deeper intimacy that I genuinely came here for until I go deeper with myself and until
Yeah.
I more or less date myself. And I had dipped toes in there, it's not like it was brand new, but there's a difference between just being all in on yourself and like really just wanting to be with yourself more than you want to be with a man or with a significant other. And so that was a year
They,
for
they
me.
call it now celibate. What is it?
Yeah,
Celibate?
celibacy. Yeah.
Celibacy.
I mean,
Well,
and the thing was is that yes, I did meet my now partner then, but I was very much a no because I'm like, I'm over here deep. I got to do this stuff. I can't do that stuff,
yeah.
you
Yes,
know?
yes.
And
I
I
get
just
it.
really it was a reclamation. It was a year of reclamation for me. And as a result, I did experience not only deeper intimacy with myself and my love for my just unique way of being in the world that could definitely kick up insecurity and things prior, that I had a deeper relationship with that part of myself that can get very insecure and just the shadow aspect of being out in the world. And I won't go into the long story of that, but it's just there was a deeper reckoning and reclamation there that of course
You
I'm
mean when you're recalibrating into your
Mhm.
new identity when you were doing your transformation?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was really
yeah.
recalibrating out of that therapist identity.
Ah,
I know
yes.
it's still a
Okay.
mentor, so it's not like a huge thing, but it was also a huge thing because I'll give you one tiny story that like to me, it's like a Polaroid. It like highlights why it mattered so much for me is because even as an intern training as an art therapist, I was also doing movement and dance and music and all that stuff. I was working in a psychiatric hospital, and I will never forget my then supervisor who became a friend to pull me aside to say, I see how much you care about these clients. I see how good you are with them. You're natural. Like, even if you didn't have this training, it's obvious you'll work with clients. And I want you to be very mindful of your hips. Like, because when you're doing movement groups, like she wanted me to keep it 10 and 2. If you guys have ever seen that movie, I forget the name of it right now, but he's a love coach. It's Will Smith, and he's the
Oh,
love guru. And he's like keeping it in the dance. This is the guy's way of dancing. You just do very box steps, And so she's basically asking me, like, you're not even trying to be sensual here, but you are. So just tone it down.
oh, wow.
And she was wanting to do it for my own safety. So I love and appreciate her for that. I mean, the
Okay.
next day we had a naked guy coming through the the lunchroom. So she
Oh,
definitely doesn't want me like swaying my hips.
and
But
then you got a dingling because it's an art place, right? A venue?
well,
It's an art venue.
it's a psychiatric unit.
Oh,
So people who are there who are
oh, no
unstable
wonder he
and
was
unwell.
naked.
Yeah. So you definitely want to like contain the sensuality, right? There's a time and place for boudoir. There's a time and place for cabaret. There's a time and place, whatever. And I wasn't
We
trying.
know the difference. We know the
Yeah, yeah.
difference.
I just was like, doing my basic box step, but I have hips. And so
Hips
fast
can't lie
forward.
like
Yeah,
Shakira.
Shakira would be proud. But fast forward, probably a decade or something. It was like this recognition of like, I am, I have more here to offer and more gifts and more than, and this was even outside of that setting. I was in private practice by this point, but the point being that I could have changed into more of a sensuality mentor, even as an art therapist. It didn't necessarily have to change the label and the model and all that, but for the fun of it, it's like as humans, we just go and rebuild the house.
The whole thing. I'm
Yeah.
the same way. I'm the
Yeah.
same
So
way.
we,
Like, and I could own multiple business, but I made like it
yeah,
just
so it's
feeds
for the
me.
fun of creating. And at that point I was just like, I want to play with a different model. But that whole identity shift was me kind of reclaiming the sensual sexual parts of myself that kind of had to be locked up, to be professional therapist.
Yeah, you can't show hips. You gotta hide. I mean, turtlenecks, kind of, and it's so crazy. Then you have to mute yourself. You cannot speak everything you want to speak. You have to tone it down. And I got written up so many times in corporate because why?
Mhm.
I wouldn't shut up. I would
Yeah.
not. You're disrespecting a pay. And I took that job from like I was there for 17 years, 7 days a week, 17 years.
Wow. That's hard.
Yes. And over that, like 4 years ago, I started build. Well, 5 years ago, started building this company.
Mm.
And then I went and I opened a Bohemian Boutique and Holistic Studio 3 years ago, and then it just started evolving. But the bottom line is that it got to the point that I took that also from $11 an hour to six figures, and then I was stuck. I lost $75,000 at some point, and then I couldn't go back. It's like they actually reduced my salary and
Mm.
and and mind you, I was commission only, so they should never be a cap for me. So
Mm.
why are you going to limit myself if I'm a person that I am your highest GPP in your company?
Well, from a
Ah,
spiritual perspective, it's very much happening for you to kind of push you out of the nest.
exactly. So then when that happened, I remember talking to financial advisors and everyone said, no, you're not ready. And I said, fuck it. I went and rode my jet ski one day and I screamed so loud and I'm like, and I heard God's voice and it was just within me and it was just beautiful. June
Mhm.
2nd of 2025, I went in and I resigned. The next day, I didn't wait for it. I just went and did it. I trust. I am in trust. And I surrendered to it. Unconditional trust that I'm like, here we go. Let's go do it.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, it does take that
Yeah,
unwavering.
courage.
Yeah, it does take courage. Absolutely. Yeah, to know that wherever you fall, you're going to be okay.
Yeah. But it gets addictive and then it comes back to then your nervous system. Make sure I had to take few months off just to regulate myself and
Mhm.
just but it's awareness. You know what you got to do. You can't it's so easy to fall back, but make it as a devotion. And so this year to me it was devotion all the way, no
Mhm.
matter fucking what. They could be killing somebody on the other side. This is devotion. This is my time to shine. This is my time to recreate this amazing identity, to evolve, to do whatever, like rest if I want to rest, show up if I want to show up. And it's beautiful to see that in this world with
Yeah, I think it takes, we're talking about courage leaping in different roles and that kind of
yeah.
thing, but like that aside, it also takes courage, and to me, this is a daily devotion to choose joy. And
Oh, that's a good one.
it may not look like the world's definition of, like high vibe, party, whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody has their different version. For me, I might be washing my hair in the creek and I'm like, this is my
The
devotional.
ultimate.
Yeah, I'm like part Cherokee. So I'm like with the earth in the dirt. I want to have like that's God for me. That's like God giving me the biggest hug when he
Yeah.
allows me to just play in the dirt as this like innocent, like yes, I'm a strong powerful woman, but I'm also have these delicate soft, I want to be poured into, and nature just really does that for me. And there's this space within like each and every one of us knowing what fills us up, what allows us to keep our spirit sparked, and committing and doing it every day. I mean, that in and of itself to me sometimes is the bigger devotion, because if you come from trauma, if you have generational trauma,
Mm.
you're actually addicted to the pain.
Feel the pain. It does. It's so bad. It's so bad. And that's the easy part to go back to old patterns. And
Yeah.
it's great that you say finding joy, joyful happiness within, and as an emotional authority, I feel it all. So I feel my pain. I
Mm.
cry. I'm a crybaby. The
Oh
good
yeah,
thing
me
is
too.
that the good thing now that versus if you would have talked to me about I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, I would have told you, I would have cried, but I would not talk to you. Like I would have just be in my corner in my
Mm.
room for like maybe weeks, months. But
Oh goodness.
10 years ago, probably a month,
Oh
right?
yeah, I hear you.
But
I'm also emotional authority, so I get it. And yeah,
and
it's
now I
it's been a
see
big
it, and
journey
I'm
to
like,
share those with people.
it's just temporary. I don't I don't hold it anymore. I don't let it control my day. And then I just cry, and then I'm like, okay, it's now time to go play. And I go outside, I walk, I dance, and then I just go cook. I don't know. Like I find the joy, I find the happiness. I lay down in my closet the other day, and I was just so happy in my closet for a long time.
Yeah. That reminds me of childhood. I loved the closet and like the carpet and the closet and the
Yeah,
just small
I'll lay
spaces.
down. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'm a
Sweet.
Cancer,
It's
so I'm
sweet.
very social out there. I go and I meet people all the time, virtually and online. I'm a natural magnet for people. But when I'm home, I'm the most feminine self motherfucking bitch ever that I have ever met.
That's
No,
funny.
I'm serious. It's
I like it.
beautiful. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So how can women tell the difference between having standards and trying to control exactly how love has to arrive? Because
Mm.
there's a controlling part of woman that wants love right then at the moment that she wants it, when in reality she has not embodied that version of her yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big question. And it's like for me, the words are kind of the last. It's like I feel everything in colors and shapes and energies, and like trying to put that into words can be edgy. But when I'm working with clients, it's usually like very, you have a very specific example. And so we're able to do that in the moment. And then, of course, it translates to other areas of life. So if I take just like a really practical example, let's say you're going to your man pouty, like pouty and sad and just in your story, whatever your, I'll use the word damsel in distress story is of the moment, right? And we know as women, we've all had that. And yet you aren't in your sovereign seat if you're expecting him to tend to it without you having found ways to love on yourself. Now, I'm not saying that your man won't sometimes see you better than you see yourself or know better than you, because they're very intuitive as well. And sometimes they just snap you out, of whatever the thing, and tell you exactly either sometimes it's with tough love, and sometimes it's with
As a mirror, you mean like as a mirror, they'll mirror you
yeah.
out and tell you, and they just go about their day. They're not doing
Oh
it in
yeah,
a bad
yeah.
way.
And then other times it might be more gentle, in like in a more holding way. It's so, and all of it to me is rightful. Like every
Yeah.
way that my man shows up is rightful. And That's been a practice. I would say a huge growth from my last relationship to my current relationship. It's like there's just a deep, deep equanimity baked in to the relationship. And that came because of how it started. When we talked about my little Kundalini awakening,
Yeah.
the woman who created the current relationship is a very different than the woman who had the one before. And
Or
so
it's so right.
she was way
Yes.
more loving, holding, patient. She just had more skills. I mean, if it comes down to it, I was trying, in my like 30s or whatever to be the woman. I just didn't have all the skills yet to
Yeah.
literally
Because
tend
we
to
still hold
myself.
that essence within us. I think how would I explain it? I think at that we had it all in our mind. It feels like you couldn't speak it at that time,
Yeah.
but it's all flowing through it now. It's more freedom. I always call it freedom, the freedom of expression, the freedom of love, the freedom to, so yeah, I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah, and I to fully answer your question because I think I danced around it a little. It's like with my clients, a very practical tool that helps them immensely is when they're wanting something, if they're in their complaint, if they're not feeling like they're being met in the relationship or they're not yet receiving that, it's like whatever that complaint is, it is trying to show you your desire. And when you can take full responsibility for that desire, doesn't mean that it'll necessarily come from this door or that door. It might come from your man, it might come from God, it might come from nature, it might come from your mom, it might come from your dog. Like you don't need to worry about the how. But if you have that responsibility for, okay, this is my, even if something as small as like, I want to be held, like that is a very primal, and you can do it for yourself, but there's a place within you that has to actually want that level of sovereignty to be, we used the damsel in distress language earlier. It's similar. It's like the flip of it. It's like I want to be the woman that not only gets held by the world, that people love and fall in love with, but it's because I'm willing to do that for myself when there's absolutely no one fucking around.
Yeah, and even if they're around, why? Because I told you about my ex relationship where
Hmm.
there was times that I wanted to like tell them I'm feeling like this, like I wanted to burst the vulnerability out. And I said, I could hold myself too. It wasn't asking, there's no problem of me asking for help, is
Right.
because I knew that there's nothing, there's that self-trust that I had my back.
And also, when that's the case, when your true taste is to hold yourself, because it can vary,
Hmm.
when that's your true taste, you're not going to be satisfied by what someone else has to offer. Like that, I've lived that, it'd be the same as saying, like, I really, really want coconut cake, and then someone offering you chocolate cake. It's like, thanks. You appreciate the offering, but it's actually not hitting the spot. And maybe cake's not the best example here, but the point is that it's like an itch that won't be scratched. It was there for you to love you. And
Exactly.
even if you did get a hug from him or something from him in that moment, you would still be feeling like, okay, and now I still need to be with myself. So you can't fuck it up. Like even if you ask
No.
for something from someone
And
else.
and be also aware that when that other person that it genuinely wants to give you that hug, that wants to share those moments for you, that you're open to receive them, because
Mm,
not, oh, I got this. Don't worry about it.
mm,
I got myself. No, it's a balance. It's sovereignty is beautiful. It's beautiful because you get to explore the best of both worlds.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I love that. So let's talk a little bit about personal development, and I want to do a rapid fire with you because you're
Okay.
so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
At what point does personal development become another form of avoidance?
Mm. very early, way earlier than most people are admitting. Way
I
early.
think as sometimes as even as a teenage years when
Mhm.
we're wanting to be like discovering what do we want to do when we grow up.
Mm. Yeah, there's a personal development. I mean, the whole paradigm, I know it means well, but it's like any other industry, it has its agenda. So it wants you to want to keep to stay on the hamster wheel. And there is a deeper knowing in all of us that was there from a very young age that gets conditioned out to some degree. And so going back to basics where you're literally in your senses and there's a term in the eco psychology called grokking the field. It's like you are mining the data of the forest, for example. You're like sniffing your way because we know even beyond the mental knowing, there's a much deeper intelligence than our intellect. So I love taking clients out into the middle of nowhere and letting them really be with their wisdom, like really making deep contact with the part of them that already knows everything and they know how to move. Even if I have them blindfolded, they know how to go and what they want. And so as women, we have a really deep wisdom that allows us to navigate the world if we, and this is a daily practice and it's ongoing, but going deeper and deeper in beyond even the mental stories of that create some emotional versus like the feeling. I differentiate between the feelings and the emotions because we can be very emotional and still not feeling the depth of ourselves. And so that's a lot of work that I enjoy doing with clients. But also, there's that it's slippery because I'm trying to remember your original question about, oh, it's
I,
about the personal development. In my opinion, if and when you're going to invest in personal development, the best investment is someone who takes you deeper into yourself.
yeah.
And so there's so much that people can learn. We live in an age of information. There is never going to be a shortage of topics and teachings and all of that. But if you find yourself in the seeking, you've already missed the point of spirituality and personal development. It's designed to help you, but then everybody has a different way and a different framework and a different concept and a different angle.
Yeah.
And so there is no end to that. And so you have to be very discerning about, is this taking me towards myself or further away from myself? And I'm not against books or anything. Like sometimes I'm in a place where I love books. I've loved books since I was a little girl, but I went through a very long phase where I did not read because I wanted to write. I wanted to stay out of, like, it was a distraction. It was like, okay, we're going to be in the writing practice now. Then there are seasons where I went back to some reading and I got to a place of like, I can read one sentence and that's like a lightning bolt through my body. It's like it tells me exactly what and where I want to create or need to go or who to call or whatever. It's because it's not intellectual. I'm not sitting down to try and learn something. I'm just connecting with someone else who had that creative divine intelligence in that moment and it connected me to source where I might have like wobbled.
Aw, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm
Yeah,
in the
I just
writing
think,
stage now.
do what?
I'm in the writing stage as
Oh,
I
yeah.
started writing my book and I've done already chapter one. I'm really proud of me because it took me a while
Amazing.
to start writing. And it's beautiful to hear that. And I love it. I encourage every woman to write their story, to
Mm.
write it because we all have different experiences. We all have different geniuses. But like, I love the fact as a life experimenter, I'm a generator and I'm a 3-6. So I am a role model. I'm a life experimenter. I will actually dive in. I really don't buy the fucking book. I will dive in, I will figure it out, and then I will come and show you how to do it.
Yeah.
That's
I'm a
how I
three
work.
six too, by the way.
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
girl. Well,
The
you
life
know,
experimenter. I would rather jump in than read the
yeah.
instructions.
I do not read instructions for anything. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess I was, I was built that way. So I just dive in and then I'm like, this is how I would do it differently. This is how you would do it, but this is how you're gonna do it and fuck it all. You're just gonna go in and do it. That's it. This is it. I
Only way to do it
simplify
is
this
do
shit.
it.
I'm just going simplifying whatever. I tell my clients, you don't have to pay as much as I have paid invested in myself to get to this level. I
Totally.
will make sure that your experience is the most beautiful it is because I would have had at the beginning stages of my personal development people with specific like this is exactly what you need, right? But of course, that was my learning experience. I had to learn this way. If not, I will probably will not be here talking to you right at this moment. I will still be probably a business owner with another job.
Yeah. 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 And to clarify, because I do think that, there's no matter what the experience is, there's still so much growth in contrast. So even if you did kind of go down this learning angle, through the world of personal development, it's not to say that that was wrong, bad, or
Oh no,
not
whatsoever. Yes.
advantageous, but it is to say having, 236 here conversing who, and I will speak for myself, I've been in the world of personal development since I was a child. So that's where I'm coming from when I say like it can become um, mm, a crutch. If and again, it's all a game too, so it's not too serious. It's like that kink of I'll just avoid myself, even though I already know the move. I'll just go over here and do this personal development thing for a minute. We're
Buy
just
another
buying
course.
time.
Buy
Yeah,
another course, another certification. When
yeah, yeah.
we sometimes we don't need all of like 10 of them, you know?
No, no, we don't. And
Oh,
that's why I say that with love, for anybody who's like addicted to the personal development, there's a place deeper to go. And the sooner we go there, the more joy and delight, because it is very rewarding to be in that individuated place versus trying to follow somebody else's protocol to success, even if that success, personal development, whether it's for health or wealth or business or whatever the thing, it's like at the end of the day, it's going to be your way. Nobody's system, you're going to have to make anybody's system that you love, you're still going to have to adapt it for yourself.
that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm gonna go to some rapid fire with you because you're
Okay,
so
okay,
fiery. I
ready.
love you. So, I'm just gonna give you a few words, just short ones, and then just tell me what comes out.
Okay.
Love is,
Life,
pleasure is,
birthright,
wealth is,
joy,
a powerful woman is.
in full acceptance of her whole self.
I love that. A relationship should never require you to.
Abandon yourself.
Yes. Success without fulfillment is.
Not success.
Yes. The biggest thing women need to stop apologizing for is.
Their needs and desires.
Oh my God. And trusting yourself like fuck means.
Living the richest possible life that you can live.
I love this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something because I always tell my beautiful audience, like, and I always ask this question to everyone. What is one thing or whatever comes out in whatever you want to channel at this moment, but what's one thing that the world needs more of?
It's so funny. You mentioned this somewhere along the way earlier, and I was like, I felt it so clear and so deep. I'm going to see if the same thing wants to come through or if it's different. But I honestly feel it's this deeper connection with self. Like there is never a time that that is going to steer you wrong because there's so much noise in the world. And everyone, I believe, means very well, but they're also sharing a lot of what worked for them. And so I do believe the ability to discern what is for you is an invaluable asset. And so the more you're connected with yourself, the deeper you're going with yourself, the richer your life will be.
Oh, that's so beautiful. You heard that amazingness. I am having so much fun. I could stay here
Oh,
talking to you all day. We
yes.
will probably end up with another creation.
Yeah. Podcast part two.
I know. Everyone, thank you so much. Thank you, ladies, so much for
Hmm.
being here.
Thank you for having me.
Honestly, for your honesty, for your wisdom, for your time, for your beautiful energy, the experience. I love having these type of conversations. It's a way of us, helping humanity, helping everyone around us, and for us and for all of you. And sometimes just, I we could talk and see different ways, but I've learned just become an observer. I allow myself to observe. I allow myself to come clean, to be honest with myself, to be vulnerable, to speak the truth. And honestly, I think that's the most beautiful gift you could ever give yourself, to be honest with ourselves. I would not be here if I would have kept abandoning myself, and that's a lot of reality from a lot of us. So I think it's the most beautiful gift in the world to love yourself deeper, to come home to yourself, to allow yourself to be free, liberated. And when I say wild and free, I'm not saying just go go crazy.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
in reality, what we called wild and free is the honest liberation. Be yourself. Like I dance naked in
It
my
feels
fucking living
wild and
room.
free when you've been conditioned to color inside the lines.
Yes. And it's okay to do crazy things. It's okay to dance. It's okay to flow. It's okay to do different things. And it's okay to come outside of the box and play.
Yeah.
So thank you so much,
Thank you.
Lainey. And it's a beautiful pleasure. Until next time, everyone.